6 weeks left of the off season. I've been forced to take a deload. Let's have a look and see why. First things first then. Let's have a look at the check-in pictures, and this is ultimately what made our decision to take a rest week and a deload. What we can see here is if we look at this image versus last week's front relax, if we find here, the lines in the legs are more significant. Whereas if we look here, there's just a film of water across my physique. You know, posing, the feedback that I gave to Nath was posing was incredibly hard. You know, you can see it on my face, like nothing is just coming in. Everything is tired. This is something that a trained eye will be able to see. Muscularity is definitely occurring. Training is flying. But the look is just starting to, I wouldn't even say slip because I don't think I'm getting fatter. There's just that, like, you can see the hamstrings aren't contracting. They're just sore. They're just tired. So even if we go into like an ab and thigh, there's a few lines still, but you look at my face. I just look a bit just like done. There's bags under my eyes and all of that. So that's enough for looking at the photos to understand why. And let's go across to the check-in form now and just see the metrics that have actually hidden the need for a deload.
I want to interrupt this video just to talk to you about supplements. As a competitive bodybuilder, my performance, my recovery, and my health are all super important in my life. This is why I have been using Train by JP supplements for the last 5 years now. They cover everything from your pre, intra, and post-workout nutrition. They also offer health and joint supplementation. They also offer a nice stack and save option, which means that you don't have to think about which individual products you need. They're all there in a bundle package for you with a discount. If you click the link in the description below and use the code GPS10 at checkout, you'll get a 10% off your order. Now back to the video.
If we look then at the tracker as the first point of view, weight has it's gone up a little bit. If we ignore this, because I did have some sushi with my mum on Friday. So if we ignore this and take an average here, we're looking at an average of 222.7 pounds, which is only a pound or so up from the week before. Now, we did have a slight food increase. If we look, it went from, but that's only on training days. So that could also be a slight sign, but nothing that would immediately stand out. Steps have been fine. HIIT cardio there was dramatically less because I just didn't have anything to give in the tank. Performance has been good, which, you know, that's not me hiding things. I've been really enjoying my training. Digestion wasn't great at the beginning of the week, which for me is usually a sign that it's starting to come, or like a deload or something. My sleep I've started using a different app, so there's going to be some differences here, but it's actually was better last week than it was the week before. Now, is that my body crying out for some sleep? I don't know. But if we look at the average energy and the stress levels, it's just dipped. Sleep on Friday was only 69, 70, and the rest and heart rate hasn't really elevated too much. It was higher on Friday than it usually would be. These are all signs that you'd be looking at. The HRV, the blood pressure was higher as well. Now, I got a little bit worried, but what I've realized is when I've been combating the fatigue and the tiredness, I've just been using caffeine. Now, caffeine for me is something that I monitor, and when I start to take the piss with caffeine, my blood pressure goes up. So this is a sign that I've been taking the piss with caffeine a little bit. So you can see actually here my HRV on the Friday was 27, and actually my recovery score from this Bevel Health app, which has been fantastic actually. I'm not a fan of relying on apps too much, but when something goes, it kind of justifies that actually, mate, you're smashed. And when they align, like the thing that I had with the Apple Watch was that it'd say I had a really good sleep score, but I was like, that wasn't a good night's sleep. Like, it wasn't great. So I stopped looking at it. But really what I should have been doing is just going, let's find a different metric, which is what I've started doing. So that's that. So we've got a deload planned in for next week. So I've taken Friday and I'm going to take until Monday off. I had a massage this morning. We're going to do push, posterior and legs. The reason for posterior is more back focused than like hamstring. So I'll be able to get a little bit of volume in there, and then we're going to go straight back into it. So overall, not really much to report other than the wisdom that comes along with knowing when it's time to back off. And even, I'm knocking on 13 years of training. I'm still not great at knowing. So thank you very much for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video. I know it's a shorter one this week, but there's not really much to report. If you liked it, leave a like. Comment on anything you would want to know. I am making regular posts on my Instagram, so any ideas or any videos that you'd like to see, please leave them in the comments below. And I will see you all next week.